Time I do a reel, I get my DMs full of women who are absolutely falling in love with men that are considerably younger than them. And in the other two videos, I have actually spoken about the pitfalls, the gains, the losses. But today we just want to have a conversation, about stuff that maybe I didn't mention in that video and in those videos, because I know that you want to have more and more of this conversation, because unfortunately it is not going anywhere, and neither is it new on the earth. Nothing is new under the sun. This has been going on for centuries gone by. And in ancient times, and older women were used to train younger men how to be great lovers. So whilst this is new to our culture, and usually people would hide it out of shame and guilt and fear, we now live in a world where everybody's coming out and saying, hey, this is what we like. The younger men are like, we like a bit of an older girl. And the older women are like, okay, maybe I'll give this a go. Whichever place or space you're at in the matrix, it's worth having the conversation so that you can probably figure out where you stand in the larger conversation. Because if you're a woman watching this, you probably have been approached, if you're single, you've been approached by a younger man, and perhaps you've told him to go and find somebody his age, or maybe you've reminded him that you're old enough to be his mother. Or you have actually taken that step. I know a few of my clients who have actually taken that road and found love in that direction. It's not easy, but I'm really interested in what you think, Coach Yvonne. Hey there, Swan. Have you ever considered that it wasn't you who found this channel, but rather this channel found you? The video you're watching didn't simply happen to you, and you didn't just randomly choose to watch it. I believe you're meant to be here right now because you are a black swan, even if you don't realize it yet. You see, the teacher appears when the student is ready. And my dear, I believe you're ready, but are you willing to embrace the rare and exquisite existence? If your answer is yes, and only if it's yes, I invite you to click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and like this video. Let the journey begin. When I say younger man, older woman, what comes to mind? What are some of the thoughts that come to mind?
Do you know, whenever I hear that, I suppose it depends on the age of the woman, because my thing is, like, you've got an 18-year-old son.
Right.
Okay, let's say that he's now 20, 22, and he says, Mom, I've been dating this woman. Oh, you're going to absolutely love her.
Right.
And then he, oh, you say, of course, darling, invite her round for dinner.
Right.
And he brings in a woman who is years older than you.
How many years? Older than me.
Older than
dear.
you. And then, when at first it really, whilst we're joking,
right.
The thing about it is, if my son was going to bring home a woman who's older than me,
right.
I would have a lot to say about it.
Right.
Because I would have to find out from him, are you mad?
Right.
Because is there no one around your age?
Yes.
That would have been my thinking before I became a coach.
Right.
And now we see
I think
things.
A lot of people think that.
Yes.
What do you think was that? We're going to get to how it's changed, because clearly something has changed. But why do you think that reaction initially? Why would you think something? What do you think would have been going on inside of you?
Why that reaction, I think, is because this is a young boy.
Right.
And you said in the introduction that older women were there to teach the young men how to be great, good lovers. And if that's part of your culture, then that's fine. But on this side of the pond, that's not heard of.
Right.
If it does happen, it's happening underground that people don't, know about. And then when it comes out and you find out what the person's been doing, it can be quite jarring, to you when you hear, but you're teaching my son to do what? Because I think as a mother, we think that part of your child's life is something that they learn about on, not necessarily in sex ed, but
with women around their age?
They practice, they do what teens or those in their 20s would be doing. It wouldn't be with an older woman who would teach them.
Right.
And I understand that.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, as you rightly said, the Bible says, the older women are to teach the younger women.
Right.
And I suppose you would expect the older men to teach the younger men.
Give them a few.
Maybe
we should
pointers.
ask PJ if older men if they do teach younger men. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if older men sit down with younger men and go, I
can't imagine that, because I can't imagine like
maybe a few
my
pointers.
Dad, for instance, when my dad was alive, I can't imagine my dad sitting down with my nephew and saying, well, this is what you do.
Right.
And this is how you do it.
Right.
And, you don't do that. You do this. And if you do this, then they'll like it. I just can't imagine.
Well, maybe the gentleman can write in the comments, do you actually sit around, gentlemen, and talk about how to be good lovers? Maybe they do. I don't know. This is very interesting, but I don't think men sit down and have whole conversations. I think women do for sure.
Yes.
We definitely sit around and do, you should do this. Let me show you how to do that. For sure, certainly in my culture. But I don't know if men do that. Perhaps they do. Maybe we do a little bit of research around that.
Yes.
But what I am kind of interested in really is kind of, because I have an idea of what I would think initially myself as well. But what's wrong with an older woman doing the teaching? She's got more experience. So you obviously would have thought she's taking advantage of him. What do you think? What's the ick that you'd have experienced before? What was the ick about? Because what's an older woman going to do? Give him a disease? Is she going to, ruin him?
It wasn't so much about what was she going to give him.
Yeah.
My thing was, is he going to use her? That was my whole thing about it. Because you've got this young, virile, good-looking man.
Right.
And he's with somebody who is late 50s. Okay, the body's good. Yay, she's kept herself up. But after the pleasure is over, what are you guys going to be talking about? What conversation is my 22-year-old going to have with a woman pushing 60? No, seriously, you're a CEO you're used to having people do your thing, and here's this little chap who hasn't even got a job yet. He's in uni, and who doesn't even have a Saturday job to say that he's earning some extra money. So what do you guys talk about? He's doing graphics and art and that kind of thing. You have a multi-conglomerate that you're running, or you've got a sensible job. You're a headmistress, or doing something. What do you speak about after it's over, when your guys are finished?
But what's that to do with you as a mother?
But as a mother, why are you... Is it that you can't find somebody else, and it's only this little boy that you could...
So you think she's taking advantage of your son?
Yes, definitely.
That's what you were thinking. Like, she's definitely taking advantage.
And also...
Yeah.
So what's wrong with you, my son? What's wrong with you? Why are you looking at this woman and saying, be still my beating heart? When you're and you've got a 20-year-old here and a 50-year-old.
Yeah.
What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Tell me, what did I do wrong? Was it something I did? Did I not beat you enough?
Violence? No, I get that. And I know that obviously, I was very much the same. And I think there will be probably most people watching this right now thinking, that's weird. And I know you used a very extreme example of a 22-year-old and a 60-year-old. That's very rare. Usually, there's a 20-year. I mean, it used to be, quite small. Even 2 years used to be like, oh my God, he's younger than me. Now, 7 years, people don't blink at it so much. 10 people can cope. But, we are looking at some couples that are hitting over 20 years. Yes. And I know that there's some people watching this that are going, what is going on? Has he lost his mind? Yeah. She's going to get her feelings hurt. She's being used. There's all of this kind of stuff that we kind of project onto that dynamic because it's so we're so conditioned for it to be the other way round.
Yes.
And I guess as women too, we're thinking, we're looking at a younger guy and we're thinking, but you're so naive. And so, what would I want with you? I want a little bit more experience or whatever. So I completely understand. And I think a lot of people would feel that way. And I think what's really interesting for us too, especially for those of us who are feeling a little bit triggered by the idea, I really want us to be aware that a lot of it has to do with our conditioning, scripting, and kind of the flow of nature, if that makes sense. Usually the older woman, a woman has always gone for older because older was the provider. He would be a little more established financially, a bit wiser, could teach her a few things, could lead her, has a bit more life experience. And because the woman emotionally matures faster than the man, it was better to get an older man because chances are they're going to be similar emotional age, if that makes sense. So that was the case for very, very many years. And, obviously things have changed. And those dynamics that used to make that the natural progression, those dynamics have changed. And guess what? Everybody's thrown the rule book out.
Yes.
And now we're in this kind of no man's land and we're doing, okay, does this make sense? Why am I angry with it? Why do I feel this revulsion? Why do I feel this situation? But you're saying that you had a change of mind or heart. I'm not sure if it's a change of heart or mind. And what is it? And what happened? What precipitated that?
Right. Okay. The reason why I had a change of, I've shifted my thinking.
Right.
Because you know what? As we get older, and the women that are dating younger men, these are women who've been married and they themselves have been thrown over for a younger model, a younger version of themselves. And they've still got a lot to give. And what surprised me is when you look at the stats out there, women between 40 and 69, 40 and 59, they're the ones that are still, they're still virile, they're still, got it all going on. And if she goes out to a bar, a restaurant, or somewhere, and a young man gives her the eye and she smiles back, why not? Okay, as you said earlier, that my age limit was a lot exaggerated. She's not going to be looking at an 18-year-old when she's out in her 40s, I don't think. But even if she does, it's a case of they would have had a conversation when they met. In the conversation, they would have talked about their likes, dislikes, what are you doing, what are you not doing, and, there was some kind of chemistry there. Because if there wasn't a chemistry there, then nobody, everybody would have gone their separate ways. So if there is chemistry there, and for whatever time this thing lasts for, why not? Both of you are adults. You're both consenting adults. You're not. If it lasts the time that it lasts for, and both people are enjoying themselves, and when it's finished, it's over, it's done with, and there is no regrets. Then get on with it. And it's not a case of there's this revolving door going around for the woman. And I get it as I've got older, and I understand when some of my friends are dating younger men, and you ask why. One friend said, it's the only people that approach me are the younger men. And it's the other way when the older men approach the younger girls. So it's kind of evened itself out, I suppose. The younger men want the older men want the younger girls, and the younger boys or men want the older women. So it seems like there's been a cross-fertilization going on. Do you get what I mean? Everyone's getting what they want. We're not talking we're going to get married and live happily ever after. And
there is really that, though, because I think where it was just, obviously it started off with, older women teaching younger men to be better lovers. The reality now is that younger men are marrying, going permanent. It's a permanent situation. They're getting married. I have a client who's in her 40s. She's in her 40s, and her partner was 24, that same age as her daughter when they met. The world went crazy.
Yeah.
You know, her daughter was not having it. Nobody was having it. And, you know, they are now married. They had a wonderful wedding. Everybody was there. Everybody's come round. In every way, he's the provider. In every way, he's the leader of that relationship. In every way, he cherishes her, takes the best possible care of her. And they've been together now for, gosh, I don't know, maybe 7 years or so. So this is a real relationship thing. It's no longer just a sexual connection, which was kind of thought of before.
Yes.
And so we have to kind of really realize that, you know, I've had to, like you, sit down and say, well, if my son brought somebody that was my age or maybe slightly younger, I would have to believe that there's something he saw in her and give her a chance to get to know her. And because I raised my son well and he's a smart boy. So, and I actually, believe it or not, see my son with an older woman. And everybody who's met my son has said to me, I think he's going to marry somebody older, because he's always been such an old soul. You know, if you meet even when he was 7, grown men would come in and he'd be having these big people conversations with them. And I remember taking him to the barber shop the other day. I was with him and this man came in and we're talking about something, and he chimed in to give his opinion very confidently. And this man looked at him and was like, how old are you? Right? And he was giving all this information. Then this guy said to this young boy who his son was passing by, he said, come here, come into this room. I want you to listen to a man, a boy your age who thinks like a grown man, you know. And so I think he would struggle even now dating girls his age, because they're not mentally, emotionally where he is. I don't obviously anticipate that she'll be as old as I, but I wouldn't be surprised, you know. And I think, you know, I would get to know her. I can't say I would have thought that way before. Now, I've got a question for you. Have you or anyone really close to you, other than myself, you know, because I'll talk about me in a minute, because you know all my escapades, you know. Yvonne would know all. If I die tomorrow and you want to know all my secrets, Yvonne has them. But she will never tell.
Dang. We can negotiate something.
Maybe if you pay her enough, you know. But have you or anyone close to you ever been in a position where you've been approached by a younger man and thought to yourself, good Lord, I would have never thought to do that, but maybe. And if so, what's the shift for you? What would have been the thing to make you think, oops, okay, what would have happened in your body? What happened there? Tell us a story, a fun one.
Okay. Most people who know me know that I was married, divorced, and remarried him again
married the same guy again.
Yeah, yes. Married him again. Yes. It's been 9 years now, so
yay.
Yeah. And during that wilderness period, wilderness period that I was in, there was this gentleman that was interested in me, and I thought, why not?
Right.
And I remember on our first date, we were sitting in the restaurant, we were eating. And he looked at me and said, I forget how old he was. I think he said he was 29, somewhere around there.
Right.
And I was, I think, 3 years older than him at the time.
Oh, dear.
And he said, I know I'm older than you, so you're okay.
Oh, is that what he said?
And that's what he said. And I sat there, took a sip of my wine very nicely, looked at him and smiled. I didn't have the heart to say to him, actually, love, I'm older than you. But I thought, you know what, just let's leave it. We're having a great evening.
Yeah.
The relationship it wasn't really a relationship. If it lasted 2 months, it lasted a long time.
Yeah.
And that for me was the only time that I've ever been approached by somebody younger. But when I look back and think of this gentleman now, to see the two of us walking down the road, you wouldn't believe that I was older than him, not because I looked oh so fabulous and wonderful, but he like you speak of your son's an old soul, and life had really done one so young. Life had really kicked him in the googlies, and he was really trying to recover from it.
Right.
And I think that's one of the reasons why things didn't go so well.
Right.
But outside of you, I don't know anyone that who has or is dating someone younger than than they are, whether it's even a year or more than that. And I'm at the position now where, for me, it's, you know what, as long as both of you communicate with each other, and not just communicate with each other, but be kind to one another. And especially for the gentleman to not use her as a stepping stone to better,
right,
or just, a quick fling over here, because at the end of the day, this lady has got feelings.
Right.
She may be, it could have been a couple of years before she was brave enough to go out with somebody after a messy divorce.
Right.
And now here's this young person taken a liking to her, wants to wine and dine her because he's got the money to do it. And she could easily fall for him, not realizing that, you know what, you're a placeholder,
right,
until the real thing, came along.
Right.
And that I don't agree with, because there's a person regardless
Absolutely.
of her age, she's still,
there's a human behind
and she has feelings, and all that goes with 100%. It. And as women, I think sometimes we do fall for the charm, he's taken such good care of me, and we can fall heavy for this person, and we fall so hard when he says, no thank you, I don't want again, or she finds out he's seen a younger model. That in itself is enough to send anyone off a cliff. So, providing conversations are had, this is just don't get too attached here. My advice would be to the older woman, even though he may be saying the right things and doing the right things, because it's that added, saying, which is biblical, that says, by their fruits you will know them.
Right.
And if he's got a reputation, he always does that, then stay away, but don't fall so hard if you can help it, until he shows himself to be trustworthy.
Yes, and I think that's true probably of every relationship type. I think we cannot take away the fears and it's unknown territory. This is relationships outside of the box. This is a relationship that has very few blueprints. It's people have been hiding in the corners doing this, and now we can live out loud. Like you said earlier, older women are not looking their age anymore.
Yes.
And I can see the allure now why younger men are marrying older women, because the older woman has lived a little, she's got less chaos, less drama, she's more confident in herself. She, can create, she doesn't need him to provide, so he can, just be emotionally what she needs, because the younger man is able to give emotionally where he cannot give financially. So she doesn't come with too many, you got to provide, you got to pay, you got to do this, you got to do that, because she's good. Her life is together, and him paying for dates and taking her to special occasions is something he can do, because he's doing it for somebody who is capable of doing it by herself. They just love the confidence of the older woman, and this is just in and out of the bedroom. Hey Swans, I have some incredibly exciting news. I'm going to be giving away 3 exclusive products, absolutely free, each designed to help bring your dream partner into your life. If you sign up to the email list, you'll receive 6 emails over 6 days, and tucked within 3 of these emails will be your special gifts. It's all just a click away. So press the link, sign up, and let's embark on this journey together. And remember, above all, you are loved.